Oh, hello guys. It's your old friend Totally Tombo here, and here we are, YouTube exclusive for one of my live streams, going over a brand new program. Well, it may not be brand new, but it's brand new to me. You see, live streaming has become a very huge part of Totally Tombo's life. And well, to be completely honest with you, I think that XSplit has totally been like the very program that is the best for me personally. It lets me get to everyone in the world. However, one of my dear friends, I mean, deer is like, you know, a deer trying to cross the street when you're going 80 miles an hour, dear friends. Sergeant Fury, Daniel Roberts, he's been doing a lot of podcasts and stuff. Wait, if you haven't seen him yet, here's a clip. If you want to see the clip, it's. So if you look on that side right over there, in the white shirt, you can clearly see Sergeant Fury, Daniel Roberts, trying to make up with his boyfriend right over there, that very handsome man in the red coat. But anyway, Tombo digresses. And he's done a lot of podcasts. It's really starting to pick up in our community and the community. But it just turns out that he's going to start to come over to the video world. He's going to start showing that mug. That he likes to flaunt around. That one right there, that he's pointing at here. So he decides that he's going to start coming into the video territory, if you will. And we're gonna try out Streamlabs OBS. So let's dive right in. I don't have any sweet graphics. I've been too busy. But if we pull up this program here, you can see it's very similar to the old OBS. Now, as I was explaining to Sergeant Fury, it seems that Streamlabs OBS has been known with this program to really take the elements of that one and turn it into a more user-friendly version. So if we go up to the dashboard here, it's not letting me do anything. We should probably figure out why. So we're looking to sign in. Hopefully this lets us do this. So clearly the first thing we had to do was log into Streamlabs OBS using your Google information. I'm really not too concerned about it. I haven't seen any sort of news in all the different dirt sheets that's on there. So, all right. So we log in and we can take a look at what is it that we just took a look at? The dashboard. Oh, this is actually pretty nice. Look at. So I just logged into this dashboard, and it seems that it points out everybody that has subscribed to the Tim Zabriskie Show page. Oh, so things seem to be working out in our favor. You know, one of the things about it is that it's really just streamlines, you know, all the things that people are trying to figure out. It's definitely a one-up, if you ask me. It gives it the wow factor. Wow. So let's dive right back in and see what else is going on here. All right, so. Look, it tracks if your revenue's coming in. I'm so mad when they rechanged all the rules at the beginning of the year and took away all of my earnings. But it's okay. Just gotta move on. So looks like there's different themes here. Oh, you guys can't see that, huh? So unfortunately you can't see it here, but for some reason I can't get this other window to come up. Because I'm gonna have to stay up all night trying to learn how to do it. I don't know why I'm like angry. All right. So it looks here that there's a lot of different overlays, and I've never used an overlay before, so I think I'm going to install this one that's called Interceptor. So, getting back to this main screen here, I don't know why I couldn't show you. I'm getting really freaked out about it. Alright, I said I clicked allow before, so can we just go to the next thing? Okay. So anyway, here we are on the main screen, and well, it's very similar to OBS on this screen here. Basically over here, Oh, it's that dashboard that we saw before. It's just a bigger version of it. Over here, these are the different themes that you can download that I was looking at on the other screen. Now I'm even more confused. Like, why would they even put that up there? What is the sense of putting that up there? So this was the one I was thinking about before. I think that it would go fitting for. I said 4 twice, and I thought I just impressed myself. So here we can set up the theme here. I'm guessing, right? Nope, I don't like this one here. Wait, hold on. I want to change that. Right, so let's try to do this again. This was the one that I wanted. So I don't even know if I got that theme. So basically, Dano. This right here, this is going to be all the different parts that are on your screen, and with that, you whatever you want to be on top, you would put at the top. So simple. So like your backgrounds would be on the bottom, in the back in that sense. So since I've never used an overlay before, let's try to put an overlay in there. Oh, before I begin putting the overlay on, I want to explain the difference between the scenes versus the sources. The scenes, Danamammogram, the scenes are important because that's what would be every single one of the different shots. So I have this one as one of my scenes. This one is another one of my scenes. And then I don't know, if we were to go to the commercial for the Tim Zabriskie show, that would be another scene. Like this.
By the following. Someday come and sit and pick up the chase, and it's not in the west to be better than the rest. While others know there will be no context, while others going like they are the one.
And welcome back. So, each one of those would be a different scene. Now, your sources, which is in this little right-hand quadrant a little bit, this one right here. That's what's going to be, each one of the different choices that you make. Okay? So, for instance, let's build a scene real fast. Whoop. I'm such a knucklehead. So the first scene we're going to call Live Shot. So in the live shot, we need to come up with our camera. So this is nice. This is very nice. It's very nice that they do this, where they're giving you a walkthrough, basically. So it gives you what it is that you're trying to input, right? If you wanted to input an image, like this image here of Sergeant Fury, Dano, and a very handsome man. Gosh. Dalton. So if you wanted to upload a picture like this, you would go over to here. You would click on the image. You click on the type of image. Or you would click on the image. It's going to give you some very user-friendly information right up here. And then you name it. So bam. Bam. And do you know who that guy is? Hopefully you can see who I'm pointing at. But he's Phil Stanford, president of professional wrestling. So you find any picture. You click done. And then you have it on your screen. Now with this, you can see we have vertical and horizontal axes, so you can basically kind of figure out where it is that you want to put the picture. And then you can stretch it out. So you can do that with all these different sources. Okay. So now if we wanted to add another source and make it the most important thing that you need when you're doing one of these, the money shot. What you can do is you can take the button here that says add source, and you go to video capture device. So you click on video capture device. You now go to add new source. And this is where it gets a little complicated for me, but it's going to be really easy for you. On your computer, what it's going to do here, when it has the device, it's automatically going to pick up yours, okay? And then you're going to be able to see yourself. If you have two cameras, like how I do with my setup, my rig, if you will, you'd be able to choose between the two. And then that's how I get like a good shot. Oh, I wasn't even showing you what I was doing that whole time. Not a problem. So to go right back. So if you can't see it, there's a screen here that says properties for video capture device. Okay, after you choose the camera. I think you can get that far. On here you do, it's gonna automatically default to the one camera, or if you have two cameras like on my rig, you're gonna be able to just choose between the other one. Now for me, because I am using my two cameras at the same time, what I do here is I XSplit, the program that I use. It gives you what we call a a virtual camera, which essentially will take whatever is on the screen and then output it somewhere else. So what I can do with my program is click on the device drop-down menu, and you go to XSplit Broadcaster, and then bam. As soon as you do that, you're essentially, all you're seeing is everything that goes out. But if it were on, if we were on Skype though, and I was Skyping with somebody else, because the program I use, it allows you to do that. This one actually might let you do it too. Once you do that, you can, I'm done with this voice for now.
Once you do that, what you can do is you can make it so that the person on the other side sees what's happening on your screen, which is cool for them because, you know, it gives the aesthetic of the outside or like the inside look and things like that. Because it's not like a man on the street thing, you know, when you think about it. It's not a man on the street sort of deal when when you know, you don't want the person like looking in, you know what I mean? That's why it's important to, you know, set up the good studio vibes and stuff like that. Man, I am shooting right now. Like what's awesome about it is you can you know, making sure that you have an aesthetically pleasing little studio. I consider this to be the studio, right? It allows you to, you know, establish that relationship with the viewer, you know, that way you can make them laugh or be intellected by movies and stuff like that, you know, which is your forte. So yeah, basically you make sure that you have the device in the camera setting, and then from there you can start messing around with all sorts of different stuff. So you can mess around with the resolution and the frames per second type, where if it says frames per second type, you always want to go for, in my opinion, you always want to go for the highest frames per second that your camera can do. Here's an idea of, you know, what I'm talking about here. This camera right here right now is on 1080p at 60 frames per second. As you can tell, it's very crystal clear. You know, it's as good as it can be. If I were to turn on the backlight, it will give you, you know, or I can even just do this, and you can see it looks even more crystal clear after I did that. After I did this, so it's, you know, the one I got, it's called the Logitech Brio. It costs like a couple $100 or something like that, but it definitely changes things. Now, the reason I bought this camera was because the camera I bought beforehand, which was $50 cheaper. No, actually, I think it was no, it was $100 cheaper when I bought it. Excuse me. This is 1080p, but it's also 30 frames per second. So that's why, you know, because what's happening with all the pixels and everything like that is it's every second it tries to make 30 frames. So that's why if you literally will just look right over here, I'm looking like right here, right? Yeah. You see against the wall, like where my finger is, do you see how it's got all these spaces and everything like that? That could be one of two reasons. One, because you're watching the Tim Zabriskie show, and two, it's because of the frames per second. Now, what I just thought about doing as I was speaking was moving the light down here, so it's kind of more towards where the other one is. And even here you can still see, because cameras, they need a lot of light. They need a lot of exposure in order to get the most out of them. But yeah, it's it's I definitely see the way that this looks like better on the 60 frames per second, which should be this one. Okay, now getting back into the program here, on the same property screen, I wish you could see it. I'm really salty about it. You know what I'll do is I'll post a picture of it on my Twitter at Timmy Zabriskie, which is right down here, or right up here for you guys. I'll post a picture of what I'm talking about on there, and then you can see which menu I'm talking about here. But if you don't want to download the program yet, because I think it was like 185 megabytes or something like that. So anyway, there's all these different settings. You want to make sure and try to get everything more to the max. You know what I mean? I want to, at this point, I wouldn't worry about if you have like YUV, color space, color range, buffering. I wouldn't, if I were you, I wouldn't mess with any of that stuff. The only thing that I would definitely, and this is a really important one, is you want to leave the audio output mode on capture audio only. So just leave it exactly where it is. That's very important, because if you look at the levels on the screen that's right in front of you, if you it's going to make it so that it doesn't go through twice, which could end up modulating you, and kind of making me sound like shit, because there's one thing I hate, it's sounding like shit. Which is ironic, because I know for a fact that the way that I have my audio hookup set up, I'm doing something wrong, which is just to go to show you nobody's perfect at this, and this is a lot. But yeah. So now that we got ourselves on here, I just hit OK. All right. What we can do here now, as I mentioned before with the sources, right? The sources here, they whatever's on top is going to be on top. So if you hit this, not remove. If you, I thought before in the other one there was like switches, or in the other OBS there was switches to make the sources go up and down. But here you do it yourself. All right. Click on it, pull it down, and then you can put the other thing on top if you don't organize it the first time, which is fine, because that happens every day. Okay, so with this, right, what else do we want to add? Okay, what's actually pretty cool about this right now, the way I have this set up, is that it looks like it's an optical illusion where I have multiple sources here, right? Like there's multiple sources. There's a source here, there's the one scene live shot and everything like that. However, what we're really looking at, and I'm going to get right back into this as soon as I say this, but what we're looking at here is only two sources, okay? So if you get what I'm saying, it's like you see the picture of me right here, right? This is me, okay? Now, down there, doesn't it look like the Timmy Zabriskie? I can't even point to myself. The Timmy Zabriskie that's down in the corner, doesn't that look like? Or I can actually do it like this. The Timmy Zabriskie that's right down in your corner. It's like right over here. Look at where it is. When I go back, you don't see it because it's a completely different source, which is Baller. So it's definitely pretty interesting. So that's why, if you notice, the source in the background here, right, that's in the middle of the screen, it's moving differently than this one here. Then, oh my gosh, to even confuse myself again, I'm not even on the right program. I'm literally not even on the right program. So why that, for what I was trying to do right there to show you, this is all coming from, all this movement right here, this is all coming from the main program that I have. So what we're looking at here is just multiple different versions of the same thing, like overlooking itself, I guess. Weird. But when we go back to this screen here, I can move it this way now, right? And you see how everything moves? That's because I'm moving the one that is inside of the Streamlabs program. And then if you click on Dano and Dalton, because it's on top, this one is the only one that moves. Oh, that was a trippy optical illusion. Totally. All right, so let's do something else. Let's leave this scene the way that it is. All right, it's just an example. And then what we'll do is we'll rename this to say test 1. All right. Or test scene 1. Ba-da-ba. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make another scene. So what should we call it? The boss, I think we should call it testing 2. All right. Sounds good to me. Cool. So now it's a different scene. So let's just really quickly, we'll do video camera device, add source. I really like that user-friendly part of it. That's a really nice touch. Cool. So here we are again. This is just going to be our camera. Now we're going to shorten this up a little bit, okay? That way it's not taking over the whole screen. I got it pretty nicely, like right over here, okay? That way we can see everything, okay? And now I want to add that other source, not the display capture. What the hell am I looking at? The overlay, right? Yeah, where is that? Alright, so I'm going to go to the other menu, but while I'm here, I might as well just add some text, right? Practice text. I don't think that you can see, but it brought me to a dialog box that will, that you name it with. Okay, so call it Okay, so the screen I am on now allows you to change all the font information, the style, you know, everything like that. So we'll just go with this guy right here. Alright, so with that being said, change the color. Pick Dano's favorite color here. And now, once again, just like last time, I was just double checking what you guys were seeing. On this time, you know, it was up in that corner and you can't see it, but it's there. So always just go make sure you go to the upper left corner. All right. So we just added the practice test. Now I want to try to figure out how to get that theme going, because I probably missed something as soon as I clicked it. Oh, wait a second. I think the streams are individual, or I think it's only for when you go live. So okay, so you pick the overlay, it brings you to a screen where it's really big. What you do is you go to, on the top on the right, it says install overlay. So you click that. Okay, so I don't know what the hell that is. And then what just happened? Did it just get rid of I think that it just got rid of my... It got rid of the other stuff I was doing. Well, that's fine. You know what? Because Dano, one of the best parts about YouTube is that you can go fucking rewind, be kind, and buy one of the Tim Zabriskie Show shirts. Yeah. All right. All you fucking Danos out there. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna market everybody in this bit about. I'm gonna call them all Danos. All right. So returning back now, what I have discovered here, right, is you have to pick the theme before you go to, before you start setting everything up like we did before. Because apparently I had the different sources over here, and it wasn't good. That's okay. So let's take a look at this thing and see what we got, what we can do here. All right, I'm not gonna do every single one. I'm gonna let you Danos you know, figure it out on your own, because I basically explained to you, if you rewind, I basically explained to you that dude, this is great. I basically explained that how to add all the different scenes and all the different sources. What you use is these buttons right here, okay? Yeah. So now that we're actually onto these, they made their own for you. All right. So So we got that the full size of our screen here. All right. And now if you scroll down, there's all of these different areas, okay? Cool. So these are really nice. These are really nice if you're a gamer. The reason why that they're nice is because for a gamer is because if you are you know, trying to set everything up, you need to have a blank screen. Now, me, literally, I had, for what I do here at the Tim Zabriskie show with all the bits and, you know, I play videos and things like that as we're going into the, like, getting ready to actually start the show. And, you know, as I said before, I do some, you know, pre-roll commercials and things like that you know that we come up with. With that, we can I can get all that set up before we actually go live with the show. You know what I mean? We don't have the luxury of like you know, doing it like a network, you know, with all the my different producers, all my tech guys, all my lighting guys and everything like that. We do it pretty pretty simple around here, but pretty effective. And that's the way of life. But, you know, back to where I was going with this. With this over here, this first screen, you can it's gonna hold time for you, very similar to what I do here on this one, and I have music that goes with it. So so when I come with a bit, you can write it up the same way, everything like that. But yeah, definitely having a waiting screen is very important. I like the style that I've started here for my own stuff, so, you know, just like wrestling, my friend, it's something that you just kind of got to do. You know, you got to think about it and really what's going to differentiate yourself from everybody else. So going back into here, good screen there, and then this is basically where you would customize everything for yourself. So let's take a look at the different sources here, because they're folders, which is nice when you think about it, because what I remember, what the other programs don't do, such as XSplit and like regular OBS, is for the sources, it typically will just be a billion of them. You know, there's just a lot of them, right? So with this though, what it will do is it'll group all the ones together. That way it's even easier to get into them. So if we click on this, I think if we click on this, then okay, it's giving you all the dimensions for this. Now this is one that it definitely looks like you don't want to mess with, because this is the new donation one. Then the new follower would be this one, and then the chat box would be here, which is cool because it apparently it's gonna, with this you have connectivity to the chat boxes, which is one of the things that I remember completely that the regular OBS failed to have, and it really made it difficult, because when I was doing the early shows, and I was doing it on a laptop, like a baby laptop, this laptop I have here actually, because I'm trying to update it, what ended up happening was I was flipping back and forth between the actual live stream and the and the program, which you're using to control everything. One of the things I'm gonna pick up soon is it's called the Elgato Stream Deck, and basically what it is something that I didn't even think that they would ever make. It's basically a controller, a USB controller that will plug right into your computer, and you can switch through all the different scenes. So I'm going to be able to have it like I'm going to be able to have it like right here, which will be nice because like this is where the drum machine is and from all my sound bits, and then this is where I got then this is where I'll have that, and the keyboard. Everything will be right here, very easily accessible, which I don't know, makes me more creative. Wow. I'm so low.
Wow.
That was too loud though. Jeez.
Wow.
Perfect. All right, so let's get back into the program here. So as we're looking at this thing, if we go to the your name, we're going to change the name. Okay, so let's figure out exactly where that is though, because alright, so your name. So what you do is you double click it and then you change it. Just like I showed you how to set it up before. So we can hear, so over here we can put the best is you can't even see what I'm typing on this right now. So you take it, you type in your thing. Don't change any of the other settings because they set it up all for you. You don't have to do any of that. You hit done, and then bam. Now I got a little nameplate. Now what you want to do, just like we had before with all of the sources as well as all of the scenes, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you put the camera in. Now obviously, but what I was jumping the gun because I was thinking super fast. What you got to do is you have to take you have to add the source for the camera. Now when you do this, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I click, there's one that says webcam, so let me click on webcam and see. Oh, perfect. So right here where it says webcam, okay, you click that and then you go right into there and choose in your camera. Bam, done. How sweet are we, right? The way that they have all of this set up is everything is interconnected with each other. So I was able to see a preview for the camera. I clicked enter, and here I am. So now I'm going to turn my camera big again. And how do I look? I look pretty freaking good. Am I right? Wow. Whew. All right. So getting back into it now, we can figure out everything that we're doing. So because earlier in the video we connected to YouTube at the start of this, it already is tracking all that information that's on the dashboard. Okay, so that just makes it super freaking easy. All right, so now if we go back to the editor here, all right, new donation. Over here it's the chat bar. So if somebody were to comment on the video, that somebody in this situation being me, then what we can do is we can comment on here to see if I can do it on my own video. I just noticed that when I updated the when I changed the name of the video, it didn't want to go through. So let's oh well, forget it. Oh, what I wanted to do here was comment on this. So I wanted to write this. So hey, yo, say hello to the hey, yo, say hello to the Montana guy. Yeah, well, let's go classic bad guy. So we wrote it there. Hey, yo, say hello to the bad guy. Now, if we look at the other screen, we'll be able to see if it comes up over here, which hopefully it does, right? Maybe we have to set something up. So now my question is why didn't this connect? Oh, okay. So right here it says chat box. Now I just noticed that this is a conversation sort of deal icon. So if you go there, you go to widget settings. We'll see what pops up here. Oh, okay. So this is the thing that you got to download. There's all these settings. Let's take a look here. Alright, so here I click launch. And now looking at this one screen. I'm just trying to figure this out. How we get this going. Use the URL below in the CLR browser? What? So launch. Hold on, let me. And then use Windows Capture. It says here, use the URL below, and this is the URL. I know you know that though. In a CLR browser. I don't know what a CLR browser is. Let's just look that up real fast. Oh, it's another, so it's something else you gotta download. Alright, so that's one of the things that's getting us, right? You gotta download everything, apparently. So, I don't know what a CLR browser is something that you gotta download to. But, I'm not downloading that shit. I've already downloaded like 3 things for this thing. I'm not doing that. In a CLR browser, explicit browser source. I don't know. It says, or just launch it and use a browser. Or and use Windows Capture. So I'll do what they say there, but this lock here will make it not move. And then if you hit this, this can make things go, like it'll make whatever's showing go away temporarily. Okay. Alright. This is salting me up and I want to figure this out now because this is what I do. Alright, I don't know. Sorry. Somebody wants to make a response video to this one explaining how you get the chat box to work, because I thought I just connect and it takes care of everything, and then, you know, just like the camera over here, it was just one click. Alright, so there's that one. Right, we made all these edits on it here. And then you basically will just do the same thing for all of them. And that's that. Alright, so oh, I wonder if that'll go when this starts going over here. Okay. So do you get it? If you don't get it, leave a comment down below. You Danos, and we'll get this up and running. All right, stream ending, offline, BRB, quick break, BRB. That's if you do that, you know, as you're in the middle of talking about films, wow, I don't know how the retention rate. So, but you could change this what this says though, you know. You can't. I thought you might have been able to. It's just a picture. All right, so all those are there. Now let's talk about going live. All right. This is cool too, right? Look at this. Spin the wheel. Let's see what this says. Oh. Well, would you look at that? That's awesome. All right. This is really cool. I like this. I like this a lot. I hope that XSplit comes around and fucking does this too, because that would be sweet. So let's mess around with this a little bit. So awesome. Let's get this one to work. Okay. So basically you get to make a wheel, all right? Okay, so where do we edit it? Over here? No. Alright, I want to change... Oh, I thought we could change what that says. Okay. Maybe we can just change everything else. But I should at least be able to change that, right? Okay, so here's some categories here. All right, we should be able to change this information, but not yet. All right, so T-shirt. So was their idea of what they wanted to use for the wheel. Oh, you can see this one. See, I'm getting really confused on what we can see and what we can't see. All right, like this one would be for, you know, selling. Or you're gonna win a prize, right? Maybe a piece of fabric, like the Tim Zabriskie Show shirts. Shoot me a DM on my Facebook at Timmy Zabriskie, and we'll send that over to you for $10 in shipping and handling. But we'll send it over to you. All right. So here we're gonna go back into the program and go t-shirt, water bottle, and this one we'll do a kiss from Dano. That's what you can win as a prize. Where I did that was right there. I just started clicking this stuff, this right here. These are going to be all your different colors here. Let me go back into the other program. So then you'll be able to go, bam, now it's red. Bam, now it's whatever the color that is, and then we'll leave that green. But then obviously what's sweet is you can add a category. So if you wanted to say cool, so make it better. Bam, so now it's all on one. So you can add a category there like that, and then so here's the section weights that you can edit, but I'm not going to edit any of these because kiss from Dano, t-shirt, kiss from Dano. So you know what, I'm on my own program now. I'm going to add this picture here because why not? Where are we at? So we'll go. What is that picture? Oh, I think I put it in this. What are we doing? I don't even know where I put that picture of Dan. That's on the other one. So what I'll do very simply is I'll just grab this beautiful big picture here and we'll go to where it is at the bottom. We'll copy. We'll go over here to our main screen and we'll paste. Paste as new or links. Nope. Now I made it too big, but what I did on accident is my program will allow you to link the same source in multiple scenes, but the issue with that is that it'll adjust all of the properties. So you have to unlink it. That way I can move this one down to here, bring it over to here maybe a little, and then we'll mess around with it a little bit. So you can mess with the transparency, right? And then you can mess with the colors, mess around with it a little bit more, and maybe make a little 3D effect, kind of like the one I have on mine. So I think with that one it will be negative 44. Oop, negative 44. We'll do positive 44. Because then it looks more like the razor symbol. And what's crazy is that I didn't even mean to do that. Bam. And maybe 40. Bam. So then, on this one here, mess around with the corners a little bit, you adjust the size, whatever. It's the same sort of functionality as the other one. All right. So we go to the program that's here and test widget. Okay, so it's not going. So let's go back into Alright, so this one seems to have worked. So then if I hit this button, okay. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about here. All right, unless you could see that. Can you see that? No, you can't see what I'm. So let me get this to you real fast here. So if I go down to here we go, perfect. If I come down to here, I have my web browser open, right? So now you can see it. What confuses me though is that why I couldn't see the chat box one though. but I don't know. Here we can see this now. What we can do here, all right, is what we can do here now is we can go back to the program, and then when we spin the wheel here spins. So there's that. All right. And somebody won a water bottle. They didn't get the they didn't get the kiss. Who's gonna win the kiss today?
Who's gonna win the kiss today? Alright, so we hit
Spin the wheel, and somebody won a t-shirt. Somebody won the Tim Zabriskie Show's t-shirt. Shoot me a DM on Facebook at Timmy Zabriskie, and me and Green Mountain Prince will hook you up. All right, so we got that, but we got that. So now let's go back to here. All right, and then do we hit go live, or what do we do? Because there's a lot more settings that we need to hit that need to be set up. So that's what I'm wondering here, like this, the 30 frames per second and things like this. We need to be able to set this up. So let's figure out where we can mess with all the camera settings and everything like that. All right. And by camera settings, I didn't mean camera. I apologize. How you can set up the streaming settings. That was the word that I was looking for. Alright, so how come I can't edit those? Alright, here we go. Up in the upper right hand corner. This is what we're looking for. This right here is very well the most important thing about the stream, okay? Okay, so now this is basically where you can figure out once you start having the trial and error of your stream. This is where we can start to really figure out why things are happening the way they are, and at the same time, this is going to allow you to do some really cool like things, and I'll go into some of those here now too. So if we go to the stream, basically you can go to your streaming services here, and then you can you're gonna see it has a whole bunch of the different places. So this is gonna be yours, right? You're gonna do the Facebook Live here. What you will be able to do is pick the default, pick the server. Obviously, it's only default there. Okay, and then no, we shouldn't have to do that. Okay. All right. So now we'll have to see. What I'm thinking is the old way when I was doing the very first shows that I would do, the ones that are on Facebook, the very first ones before they kind of started making all these changes, was you would have to like copy the stream key from Facebook and then put it into these settings here, and then if you have to do it really fast, and then because it expires, and then you would eventually hit go live. That was during the very first ones, the ones where like nothing was working, and by that I mean my last one. No, I'm just but here it should just let us be able to go to the next step. I really hope that you're able to see the screen, but right here, output mode, simple, advanced. I would leave that on for you on simple. That's not a knock or anything. It's more of this is gonna basically just make it so that you can get to where you are. The video bitrate is probably like one of the hardest things, and it's really like hard for you to kind of figure out. Now, if somebody comments to me on Twitter, you know, at Timmy Zabriskie, once again, I will I'll take the kind of a schematic. I'll write one out that kind of will help you get to where like the bit rate that you should be at. But also, you know, just searching on Google, you'll be able to kind of figure it out, and then that's going to give you that starting point to really get your stream to be completely perfect. So the video bit rate here, and then the encoder, either a software encoder or if you have a graphics card, like I have a graphics card, like I guess a crazy expensive graphics card in my rig here. So my rig. I would pick the other one. For you, you might try them both out if you have a graphics card in your laptop, but you're probably gonna see that it's gonna encode better with the with your CPU. So leaving it at the software where it says X264 here is what you want to do. The audio bitrate and the video bitrate, they go off the same connection that you have to your internet and how your internet has to basically the rest of the world and these servers here. So you think about like you being at the Grand Canyon and you yell and how long it takes for you to get there compared to if somebody is like 2 feet away from you and you yell and how fast it is to get there. So they have to work together because you only have a certain amount of bit rate. And you know, I could very well be wrong. If I'm wrong, definitely let me know in the comments, but this is just my interpretation of it. Your internet basically has a certain amount of bit rate that it can use. It's also doing other things on the internet like your computer is, you know, with you just being here, and you have to take that into effect as well for when you're streaming. Okay, so if it says that you have 5,000 bit rate, just as an example, if you choose to use all 5,000, there's it doesn't you would have a really bad video because it says it's trying to push out all this stuff, and you know the information is also going into the other parts of your house. It's gonna mess you up. Now the other thing too is if you have way too much bit rate and you're trying to send it out to the certain location, because when you're recording and when you're doing anything like this, basically you're you're shooting out all this information, and just because you can, the server in this scenario is about this big. So think about all that big information you're trying to push in, and it causes a traffic jam, just like the traffic jam that I was stuck in going to the Bronx 2 weeks ago, where it took me 4.5 hours for a 2.5 hour trip. But I digress. So basically, we have to make sure that we're not doing too much information or sending too much information. So that's why you guys definitely have to subscribe to my page here, and then I will definitely post the two different or the kind of the schematic that it's not my schematic, but it's actually from somebody, but I'm gonna rewrite it so that nobody gets salty about it, and we'll go from there. All right. You can, so if you have the option with this program too, to not only just go live, but you can record as well. Now with the recording, it's you can do it simultaneously, right? You can also do it you can do it like you don't even have to live stream. You can just record right to your hard drive and then use that at a later date. And then from there's a whole bunch of different settings for that too. So the record quality, high quality. If it's the same as the stream, you're probably going to use less CPU, because that's another thing you have to worry about. How your CPU and your GPU, if your laptop has a GPU, which is a graphics card, how they are holding up, because this is live streaming does use up a lot of different processes and stuff like that. One of the cool things that XSplit does is it has all that information right at the bottom of the screen, and from there you can figure out which how everything's doing. Because if your CPU is going jack through the roof, and your stream is super slow and everything like that, what's happening is you're either sending all that information, because on the computer's end, think about that same scenario with the traffic jam of data trying to get into the server. If it's all the way back here and this is just trying to push it, it's gonna start getting really hot and overheat, and that's what ends up happening with a lot of these gaming computers that you hear, like, oh, they break down, blah blah blah, and which is why they have like cooling units and things like that. All right, so having like making sure that your CPU is doing okay is important too. Now, because you're going to be recording and you're going to be live streaming, your CPU, it puts a little a much more pressure onto the actual the actual CPU as well. So you trying to pick a quality that's a little bit less or even the same as a stream is kind of the recommended one. The difference is that if your stream, if let's say for some reason your computer or your internet skips for a second, right, and then it's like as you're trying to talk, it the recording is going to copy that too. It's going to be exactly what the people are seeing. If you do it as a separate file, that's why your CPU is going to be working really hard. You know what I mean? Now, if you're trying to stream, which is your primary focus here, right, but you have the recording quality at a high quality, and that's recording every single piece of information, and that's what's going to cause the real issue. So you have to make sure that you have a great CPU. I would look up your specs and then take a look on Google, and then figure it out for yourself, and maybe down the road that's when you start thinking about upgrading your computer and whatnot, because that's what was happening with my laptop. Anyway, so you can choose the file format for what you want it to be. There's a bunch of different ones here, hopefully that you can see. And then I don't know what the custom muxer settings are. I don't think that it really applies to us. All right, now besides that, that's a really, just to recap real fast, all those output settings are a real they're real tedious. It's gonna be like you're gonna spend a lot of time just trying to get your best settings out. So and that's okay. That's okay. That's what we do to get better. You know what I mean? As much as I wish I was a professional doing this, I'm not. And you know, but we're smart enough to get there. Let's keep it going. All right. So the desktop audio, that's what that's what you're gonna be able to use for. This is what you would be able to use to get to your audio settings and stuff like that. If you're using a USB audio device, this is where you would pick that, okay? Cool. Oh, shit. Then the video, this is what this is the other part of the Facebook settings that you have to factor in. Okay, now for Facebook here, I know for a fact because I'm just waiting for the day that they change it. You have to go by 720. So just like your TV, there's 1080, there's 720. For Facebook, you do have to go by 720. Okay. Downscale filter at this point. We just would want to see where your computer's at before we start messing around with all that stuff. And then the FPS, the frames per second. That's what I mentioned before with the two different cameras, where this camera is looking really crisp because it has more frames. The problem is that the servers that you can send them to. The common FPS values, you're gonna want to stay depending on where your camera's at, or where the server's at. Excuse me. So for this one, we're at 720. You want to stay at 720. All right. So then I don't know what the hell happened here, but. Yeah, we just had to do a little repositioning here, that's all. Because what it did was it changed. We gotta make it smaller a little bit. Cool. Alright, so here we are. Going back to go live. All right, so what I said before about the YouTube, this is what I'm saying. So you have to get a stream key, which is obnoxious. It's pretty freaking obnoxious. So you're gonna go to your page, or you can even go to your own, and then on Facebook here. I know you can't see it, but what you're going to do is you're going to go to videos, and then you're going to go to I don't know what's happening here. Well, I think that's a good place for me to call it quits then. Yeah, we'll commence with the going live the next time I do this, but Thanks again. Thanks again for sticking around on stoNERD, like stoNERD, with Totally Tombo. I don't know. I should have really thought about how long this video was gonna be, but maybe Totally Tombo will come back. Comment on the video below. Shoot me a tweet at Timmy Zabriskie, right? If you're into Totally Tombo, and we'll do this again because I think that this will help, and then it's gonna help me come up with a conclusion of if I like it better than XSplit or not. But for right now, I'm leaning more towards XSplit. So thank you so much for watching, and catch me outside. How about that?